have a nonprofit that I founded, which is Hosanna Corporation. We have a youth department, which is Hosanna4Youth. I created this organization because of things that I went through. So first, before I get started, I'm gonna tell you how bad perception is. What do y'all see when I stand up here?
Beautiful, sophisticated,
Y'all making me work this thing? What? What?
You could be a model.
Girl, stop. Let me give you a hug. Oh, thank you. See, that's the type of encouragement we as women need from each other. So y'all said sophisticated. What you said?
Don't forget to add black.
Beautiful.
In front.
Yes, thank you. So would y'all believe me if I told you I never looked in the mirror when I was a teenager?
No.
Because people had told me I was fat. They told me I was ugly. They told me I was too black. They told me I was hoish. They told me I wasn't gonna be nothing. They told me all of that. And yes. And guess what? The sad part was, I believed them.
Wow.
I believed them that I was ugly. I believed them that I was worthless. I believed them that I had nothing to give to this beautiful world. So I went through high school. By the time I was 14, I was pregnant. And my parents made me have an abortion. That's 14. By the time I was 17, I can't even tell you how many abortions I had because I didn't take birth control. So with that, here I am in high school. I decided to drop out in 11th grade. Nobody was in my neighborhood pushing me to go any further. Nobody said you could do this. All they told me was a bunch of negative stuff. So I dropped out of high school. As I'm on the streets, walking down the highway, on the sidewalk, I see some lady. She said, "Why are you out here this time of day? Why are you not in school?" I said, "I got pregnant and I dropped out." Because at the time, guess what? Broward County didn't allow pregnant girls to go to school with regular girls. So they put us in another school called Saisis, which is, what is it now?
Siegel.
Siegel. You're right. So I had to go to Siegel. So the lady told me, she said, "Why don't you go back to school?" I see something. You know, that hit my heart because I didn't do nothing. Everybody had done told me I wasn't gonna be. Shit. Yeah, they told me that. So I went ahead, I enrolled in Siegel. The little short bus would come and pick me up every morning to take me to Siegel so that I can, I got there and I got inspired because they would do things like this and have different speakers come in and tell you what you can be and how you can rechange your life. And one of the speakers was BSO. And they encouraged me so much that I was like, oh, I'm going into criminal justice, I'm gonna do this thing. But they said, you gotta finish school. I applied myself and I finished top of the class and was able to graduate with my class in 1988. I just told y'all my age. I graduated on time, full belly, walked across the stage, and now I'm like, I can do whatever I want. What do I want to do? So it was like, are you going to the Army? Are you going to college? What you going to do? Well, I decided to go to college. Went to YSU, got up there, and that's in Youngstown, Ohio. And so from Florida to all that snow with a baby on my hip and no other knowledge, So here I am, I'm there, and I got into the wrong crowd again because that's what I was used to. So the cycle just repeated itself. I changed locations, but I was doing the same thing. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? I changed locations, but I was doing the same thing. So I was back in Florida in less than 6 months. Dropped out of college. No hopes, no aspirations, nobody I looked up to as a role model, no mentors, no nothing. And I'm back in South Florida. I gotta feed this kid now. So that led me into all these behaviors that was like, what are you gonna be? I'm sleeping around, I'm doing all kind of things, hustling drugs, doing all kind. I was sitting on the bus bench. I was on your corners, going up to cars. I was doing everything you could possibly think of. But then one day, someone said to me, I see potential. That's the second time. that you need, would you come through? Would you do? So I said, okay. The lady took me and she sat me down in front of a computer. That's when they first came in. She said, if I teach you how to type, you can get a job. I was like, okay. She sat there with me day in, if I showed up. So one thing you got to do if you want it, you what? You gotta show up. You gotta show up with a fire in you that you want this. So I showed up every day and she taught me how to type. She taught me how to type, and guess what else she taught me? She taught me how to speak. You know, how to talk in a way that other people will listen, not just to talk, because I was telling you, I was from the streets, so I gave you broken English. I gave you all the latest whatever. You know, I was that girl. But then she showed me that it's another way that you can be really that girl. And she molded me into this whole persona of what I could possibly be, how I can change what people said about me and make it work in my favor. So she took me and she took me through all the channels. She told me about hygiene. She told me about shaving under my arms and shaving my legs and good grooming skills. She told me how to not wear the little short dress because I had got into stripping too. She said, you don't have to present yourself that way. But this was over a period of time. You know, it just was a period of time. Then I got to the point that here I am. I decided to apply for a job. Two lines was in the newspaper. Help wanted, and it had a phone number. With my new skills of how to talk, of course, over the phone. Hello, hi, this is Angie Moss. I would like to apply for the position you have in the paper. Not a problem. She immediately was like, come in, we want to interview you. When I got there, she was shocked that I was, because she said, over the phone, you didn't sound like that. I was like, oh, I got this. I had this job. I started working for Steve Madden. You know Steve Madden shoes? I started working for Steve Madden. I came in as a receptionist. By the time I left Steve Madden, I was there for 8 years. He had his central office was here at the Port of Everglades. When he left, I had them been traveling for him, training other locations. Did y'all hear what I said? Traveling. They sending me out to go to these places, to speak to people and to talk about Steve Madden and to talk about his shoes and to set up the organization over in California and over in New York. The same little girl that was nobody. So then, as I'm working for Steve Madden, he began to, give bonuses and, pour into the employees. And I was able to buy my first house from working with him. With that, thank you. With that, it changed the dynamics of what people thought of me. So they thinking like, oh God, what did she do? How did she get it? See, what I had to learn is I can't let what they say do anything with this right here. I have to believe that I can achieve anything I want to. But by the time I got to 40, I was in a mental breakdown. Everything came crashing down. All the good stuff that I was doing, all the changes that I made within myself, they started crashing. And I had to figure out what that was. And I had to deal with some issues, and those issues were somebody touched me when I was a little girl. And they flooded me like crazy, and I'm trying to figure it out. Here I am, a 40-year-old woman dealing with an 8-year-old little girl that can remember her cousin coming in the middle of the night when she stayed the night at their house in a twin bed with his sister, and him coming in the room and getting in that same twin bed and his sister not moving. I had to figure all that out. Why do y'all think she didn't move?
Committed suicide or something like that.
No, she wasn't dead.
She probably did the same thing.
Girl, give me a high five.
Wait, what? I'm confused.
She was happy it wasn't her turn. So she laid there still as her older brother would come in the room and molest me. I would tell my parents, I don't want to go over there. Oh, you gotta go. I'm going out. I'm doing this or whatever. And here it is. Every time I went in the middle of the night, the older cousin would get up. Parents go to bed. What they do? They close their door. never close your door when you got guests in your house. Never. I don't care who they are. So the pattern of him coming in, molesting me, and doing these things to me, I never addressed as a kid. I never knew that that was the underlying issue of all that other stuff from when I was a kid. So as I'm figuring it out, I realized I would talk to my therapist, I would talk to different persons in the family. Oh, they hated me. They made me feel like it was my fault. But how do you know that when you tell, if somebody has touched you in a way or made you feel uncomfortable, when you tell, you're actually protecting the rest of the family and not the perpetrator. But as long as you're being silent, you're protecting the perpetrator. Has anyone ever dealt with someone coming to them telling them that they were sexually molested? So when I ask that question, a lot of people say, well, yeah, I know my friend girl at school, she told me that someone touched her in her family and nobody said anything. Or my cousin told me to secrecy that I shouldn't say anything that my other cousin was touching her. Or, I went to a elementary school and was speaking with students, and one of the girls got up and she said, every time I go to my cousin's house, he put his pee-pee in my mouth. So, but it's real, and it happens, because you know why? We, in our society, we don't deal with bad behaviors. We don't. We'll sit there and say, well, little Johnny is just so friendly and so handsome, he's so cute. Little Johnny didn't do that. And all that does is protect little Johnny to continue to do what he do. We allow him to keep going on, and nobody says anything. Or we might say, well, Anna, she's funny, she's creative, she's all this and that, and Anna is actually touching everybody. It happens. So as I'm going through and I'm talking about it on every platform, I have young people and I have adults that's coming to me and they say, I never said anything. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want the family to not like me. I didn't want to. But when you didn't say anything all that time, what do you think that perpetrator was doing? Probably should talk to your sisters and your cousins and your brothers and everybody else, because he was still doing what he was doing, or she was still doing what she was doing, because nobody's talking. As I begin to do all this sharing and telling everybody says to me, well, Andrew, it's not just kids, it's grown folks that shut that kid down inside of them, that's trying to live on a day-to-day basis, trying to work on our jobs. Any of you ever heard of #MeToo? Y'all hear that all the time? #MeToo, right? #MeToo. #MeToo is, it started out for work environments, telling that your boss inappropriately touched you, or, that he sexually harassed you and stuff like that. So I was given the honor to speak at the Women's March last year, and one of the things that everybody that went to the podium said was, #MeToo. So when I got up there, I said, okay, I'm not gonna say #MeToo. I'm gonna say #No More Family Secrets, because if we deal with what's in our house, it would never make it to the office. But people seem to forget that what's little do grow. So the bad behaviors, if they're not addressed as a child, the children or the person do grow up to become grown men, grown women, and they become bosses. So if I was a touchy-feely type of woman when I was in my younger days, and I did some things to some people, and by the time I grow up, I become a boss, what you think I'm gonna use my power, right? To still manipulate and control. It wouldn't even make it to #MeToo if we'll just start talking. We need to start sharing. We need to start telling. We need to start opening our mouth and letting our family know that Uncle so-and-so, Auntie so-and-so touched me. And we need to become superheroes in our own house. Any of you ever think about, you heard the athlete say she wanted to be a superhero? any of you had desire to be this superhero in your own space? Think about that. Think about what superhero you would like to portray. And you can start right now in your own space, in your, Wonder Woman. I would love to wear the outfit, the long hair and all that. I would. Yeah, and the little, all that. What's the leotard? Yeah. But I think I'm more of like a Batman type of person. I'd rather crawl at night and do some stuff. So think about what you can do in your community, in your home, to help with things that are happening. And you'll be surprised when you start sharing more of yourself and hearing more about what people are doing, how you can become and evolve into a helper or a superhero. So I consider myself a superhero for those that's been impacted by incest, molestation, or rape by a family member or a trusted family friend. I use that specifically because, they have the realm of sexual abuse. And I don't want to deal with all that. I just want to deal with the families. I want to deal with in-house. I want to deal with what we don't do right now. We don't talk in our families about anything when it comes to our bodies, sex, inappropriate touching, all that stuff like that. So with Hosanna4Youth, we have now, since I've been on this platform, I realized not only my promiscuous behavior, that it's girls that I run into that have promiscuous behavior. So with that, do y'all know what I mean?
No.
No. That's having sex like it's candy out the candy machine. Just having sex, let me ask, everybody in here sexually active or not sexually active, sexually active?
Yeah.
Everyone's
Okay, so with that being said, by everybody being sexually active, I gotta ask the question, are we going to the doctors getting ourselves checked out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Going for your gynecologist exams? Yeah? Okay. Are you asking them for STD testing?
Of course.
You have to ask because they don't do it. They don't just do it. You have to ask for it. You gotta tell them, I want to be tested for STDs and STIs and HIV and AIDS. The reason I'm stressing that, because when I was young, ain't nobody tell me none of this. And I'm grateful to be standing up in front of you to say I'm not positive on nothing. I'm positive on life, but I'm not positive on anything else. And if I was, I would share it with you because that's where I need to be transparent at. You never know who you're helping. So with this new, thing that Hosanna is doing, we're actually going through the process to be a testing facility. Because when we go out and we speak with young girls and I tell them how loose, someone said, you was a loose one. Yeah. When I tell them how loose I was, and the things that I did, and I'm grateful to God that I can stand here and say, here I am, and I'm, transparent and negative and everything, and that I want to be able to help somebody who isn't. So I go and I talk, and you'll be surprised. I went to a school in Miami, and one of the young ladies, during the time Usher, you all know Usher the singer, when he had disclosed that he was, he had herpes. Some people didn't even know what herpes was until Usher started talking about it. That whole thing with Usher, the singer. So, and I began to research it. I'm thinking, oh, skin to skin. Nobody ever talks about it, So I started researching and I wanted to know more. You'll be surprised. Nobody talks about these things that on a level to make you feel comfortable to go and find out to make sure you're okay. So, we're going to be venturing into that in our organization. So now, Hosanna4Youth not only will be doing the testing part, we have support groups because not everybody is bold like I am and say, he touched me. So, we got to get you there. So we have support groups at our location here in Fort Lauderdale. I have the information there of our email address, our website, and how to contact us if you want to talk one-on-one, or Or you might meet somebody at your church or in your school that, you know, may confide in you, and you might feel that they need to speak with someone else. So, we have the support group. We put on annual events every year. We do one called Survivor Stroll. It's where the whole community come out and they walk to encourage, inspire, and support those that's been impacted by incest, molestation, and rape. It's not a 5K, it's not a race, it's just a bunch of people getting together and saying, we're here for you, we support. We have all type of activities. And what I usually try to do is bring in a celebrity, because y'all know we have a tendency to not want to hear from regular folks, but when we see it across TV or across social media, we all like, oh, that's so-and-so, and we be all hyped about the name and the person. So this year, I was able to get one of the young ladies that was featured on the Surviving R. Kelly. She came, and people didn't know who she was or whatever until she started sharing her story. And she was one of the young ladies that got into a relationship with R. Kelly and went off with him at 17 years old. Met him at Aventura Mall. Did anybody see the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had some people say, well, I wish he would have picked me. I wish he would have whatever, you know, and don't get caught up in, that's another thing. Social media, you all on there? Facebook, Instagram, all that. Y'all know human trafficking is real, right?
Yes. Yes. Of course.
So we have to be we have
Hi everyone. They are also going to be a part of the guest speakers.
oh, okay.
So, yeah, Jessica, just want to make you guys aware. Where are you guys from? Where they from?
I'm on the hair salon, Truth Hair Studios in Miami.
And I own a PR marketing agency, southcomo.com.
Okay. So I'm gonna end, and I'm gonna let the next speaker come up. She can come on. So yes. Yeah, I was checking yours while you were sitting. All right, she's gonna speak. Thank you, ladies.
Yay!